So, hi, this is Nishant Malhotra. This is a Christmas special. I'm the solo founder of The Middle Road, a thought leader platform enabling social change and impact. The startup promotes, educates, and provides upskilling within the social impact sector through publications, online courses, podcasts, and videos. Check out www.themiddleroad.org to subscribe and buy our standalone courses. There's going to be a special discount on the occasion of Christmas. I chat with students from Vellore Institute of Technology, India, a leading academic institute in India. Its engineering college is rated among the best in India, among the top 10 in rankings. I came to know them because I just an event for Center for Social Entrepreneurship, known as CSED. And today I'm going to be talking with members of CSED, especially about the journey as a part of this club. CSED, just to give you a brief idea, was founded in 2010 and is a student-led organization based at VIT Vellore in India. The purpose of this podcast is to understand the proliferation of social entrepreneurship among students in India and pathways taken by college students in furthering innovative ideas into ventures. I welcome the whole CSED team. A very warm welcome to the Middle Road platform. Now let's begin. Before I begin my invigorating chat, let's get your names first. Just give a very brief introduction, and then we'll start.
Everybody, my name is Sahil Bijur, sponsorships here at CDVIT.
Hello, sir. Hello. My name is Ikshit Samanta. I'm the head of marketing and publicity at CSED.
Hello, sir. My name is Ayan Dowal. I'm the head of technical and design department in CSED.
So, my name is Adhar Dhoti and I'm the president of CSED.
I'm the VP Startups.
I'm Rishad Dasri, I'm the head of expansions.
And I'm the editorial head at CSED.
I'm Vaishnavi, I'm the head of events and strategy at CSED.
Anushka Gupta and I am the head of finance and university relations.
I'm Lalit and I'm the head of human resources at CSED.
But it looks like a whole COE structure, it's like an organization and we have a pretty much very set. First, let me thank you for the invitation first to judge your event. It was a fantastic event and I really appreciate sort of the looking at the caliber of the students, your passion towards this particular topic in social impact. We begin with first to understand how did your interest in social entrepreneurship begin, but still a very nascent segment in India. And I really want to get from you, drove you first to be part of this, moment.
So basically, I'll talk about myself. So when I joined this club as a core member, everything was very new to me. Even entrepreneurship was pretty new to me. So I had this idea or this vision in my mind that whatever I do in this club, I make sure that I learn something. So be it marketing, be it public relations, be it expansions, or be it finance or anything. So with that aim in my mind, I moved ahead and I just kept learning. And slowly and like gradually, this came up that okay, I think after learning, I should create some impact in other people's lives. And by creating impact, what came to my mind is okay, our club's name stands for like CSED, which is Center for Social Entrepreneurship and Development. So as an individual, I was developing for sure, the club was developing for sure, but let's talk more entrepreneurship. Let's do more of social entrepreneurship. That's why we moved ahead with this in this space, and we thought of okay, let's do something big in it. Let's start impacting, bringing positive change in other people's lives. So that was a very basic starting point for all of us.
So could I take it that way that a lot of people are now much more interested in social impact space than if you compare it with 5 years back? Is that sort of a huge topic within the campus? A lot of interest?
Well, the interest in the freshers, mainly in the freshers, is actually being seen growing. Like as years go by, we see a little bit increment in the drive towards social entrepreneurship every year. There's a new intake in the campus or in the college. So everybody asks us. Recently, we conducted a club expo for our Quanta. So where basically all the clubs and chapters of VIT, share with the students or the freshers that what their club and chapter is doing, what it is about, so that they can join us. So everybody wanted to know how is entrepreneurship different from social entrepreneurship. When people asked us that what is the difference between social entrepreneurship and entrepreneurship, so while telling them in a very layman language, we were able to tell them that entrepreneurship is obviously starting off your own, having an entrepreneurial mindset. What is it all about? But having a prefix to this word entrepreneurship, that is social, does not mean that we are an NGO, because many people think that maybe this is just another non-profit organization, but that's just them, scratching the surface. So we were able to tell them that we are the people who try solving social problems, or who try solving real world problems with an entrepreneurial mindset. That's what we were talking about, and they really liked the niche because everybody knows somewhat about entrepreneurship with this Shark Tank India thing going on. So everybody's exploring this field more and more. But social entrepreneurship, they are still not very clear about this space, and that's why we are here for. That's what we are here for.
Yeah, so you're doing a lot of events, you're doing a lot of stuff. So we'll come to that later on. So let's understand your history. Now, your club has been there for a long time. It was established in 2010. So take up very briefly through your origins. What's your motto? What's your vision? What's your mission and vision? So that then we proceed into what you're doing right now.
We started around 13 years back now, and we started as Shield. So that's what our initial name was. We started as Shield, as a entrepreneurship club to just educate people on entrepreneurship. Because at that time, entrepreneurship again was a pretty new idea being explored, like right now how social entrepreneurship is. And so as we explored more of entrepreneurship, we conducted events, we got in more people from outside to talk about entrepreneurship. And we also had a lot of people showing interest within the club, and also entrepreneurs getting out of the club. So we had our graduates and people from our club, our seniors who had startups of their own, would come back and share their experiences, would come back and even take interns from our club itself. So that kind of built the movement of entrepreneurship for us personally. And then we moved on to social entrepreneurship, as Ikshit talked about, and that's how we've progressed so far. So we have our flagship event, which is Startup Street, which has happened for the 7th year this year. So we had our 7th edition this year. So we have our flagship events, which happen every year. So that's how we try to build it. So each year we try to do something a little different, a little new, and we try to cater to our new audience every time. And we currently aim to build a community of entrepreneurs and social entrepreneurs who can just come in and talk about their journey. And if they're just starting out, if they have no idea about social entrepreneurship, no idea about entrepreneurship in general, but just want to have a clue about what it is, and they'll join the community and kind of just interact with people, be in a like-minded group so that they get a better idea and understanding of how this works.
Let it be a very cool chat. It's something, you can be sort of free flow, and you can always add on to your stuff. But so let's understand, what is your vision now? What do you want to be there in 5-10 years down the line? What's actually do you aspire in the bigger picture for you? I know you do events, and we'll come to innovation. You do have some events which are part of VIT, and there's something very specific for you, which is Startup Street.
For the past 1 or 2 years, everything's been completely online, even, thanks to the COVID pandemic. Now that we've come, our board was one that had it kind of a mixture of both, an online term and then an offline term. During our offline term, we realized that what at least VIT needs, or at least what students all across India in particular need, is a community where they can actually come together and discuss entrepreneurship, or even lead to the creation of several social entrepreneurs and businesses as such. So at least, if I can speak for the club, I think for the next 5 or 10 years, our vision is mainly to make almost, I know the word's rather cliche nowadays, almost a pan-India kind of community for students, not only students, even let's say faculty members of certain colleges, interested ones at least, and entrepreneurs themselves who can act as mentors, who can act as guides for those students and actually help them progress in the fields that they aspire to be leaders in. So that's the main thing when it comes for at least what we consider ourselves as a community. Just as an organization within VIT, personally, I think within the next.
Whenever you say VIT, right? So I'm also from VIT Pune, so it's better if you say Vellore Institute.
So sorry.
Right, because there's a difference. Yeah, fair enough. I got now Vellore Institute of Technology, as a part of Vellore Institute of Technology of this club. So let's see the ways which you are making a change. Now let's start about innovation. Now your job here is to, like you said, one of your charter missions is to take innovation from the college as a social entrepreneur to the market, right? And you have this event, startup street, which you say, which is one of your flagship event. Am I correct?
Yes. Yes.
Apart from Startup Street, do you have any other events which you do, or this is the one event? And what are the things you do before we come to Startup Street?
Okay, actually, what we do is year round we have several events that take place, and even if the events aren't there, just during the start of the interview, like I mentioned, the departments we are a part of. So essentially, Preetish here, my colleague, is the head of the startups department. So let's say, for example, we find students or we find within our own clubs or within other clubs as well who have, even if they have a small part of an idea, even if it's not fully developed, we actually make sure that they meet up with mentors or they meet up with guides, like I mentioned before, so that they can actually incubate their business ideas as such. So that's one thing we also do. Another thing, we believe that here, at least here's the thing, our core, the ones that enter our club every year, are mainly consisting of freshers. So they don't have too much of a great idea of what even social entrepreneurship or even what entrepreneurship necessarily is about. So we conduct events of two types. Either it's one where we are actually informing them, or and after we conduct these informative sessions where we'll teach them basic concepts like maintaining finances, or maintaining, or how to create an entrepreneurship, how to pitch your ideas, or anything on topics like those. After which we actually conduct competitive events. So come up with your own ideas, try to incubate your own startups. Maybe if you're ahead of a startup, what would you do? Such, competitions essentially. So even their ability to think right on the spot, or maybe that at least get their creative juices flowing in the sense. So that's what CSET generally does. Even though we are certainly our main key tenet is social entrepreneurship, that's not stopped us from visiting other avenues of entrepreneurship. Like for example, we've had several events where the speakers have been, for example, Mr. Raghav Belwadi. He's the head of Hype, Hype Industries in India. Essentially, how do I call it? A luxury car and yacht renting service. Another one we've had is Mr. Alek Tripathi, who runs his own edtech business as such. And we've had speakers like those as well. So what we're trying to provide is this entire kind of holistic, big picture view, not only students in VIT, but even to our members and even rather for our board, because we've learned so much as we've come across in our entire tenure.
Now, you're doing a lot of work. I just want to say that over a period of time, do you think the participation and your presence and your impact has grown? How do you see?
Honestly, sir, because there's one thing I can say that yes, we conduct these many events and all of that, and I agree with you, sir. Retention is completely different from the events we conduct. But what truly makes CSET, at least in my eyes, special is this kind of really positive work environment we have, where it's not like many other student clubs where they're constantly telling you have this deadline, make 5 posts, or you have this article, you have to write it right now, submit it by next Monday or something like that. Thing is, CSET stands for social entrepreneurship and development. We're doing the social entrepreneurship part, but the development is not just for the ideas the students bring. It's just it's even developing intrapersonal skills and other marketable skills that they can take over, even if let's say they don't enter the entrepreneurial space.
So let me take so you must have done a lot of events. How many people have actually gone on to set up a business, or at least tried to set up a business in entrepreneurship? So do you have any case there where people have gone?
I can't provide a specific number for that, sir, but if I could provide an example, I believe from at least last year's one of our expansions heads of our he actually started his own entrepreneurship for building websites. He's pretty good at that, and I know this because he had actually come and he said he had given an interview to us rather generously, and he had even provided us with internship opportunities.
So that's okay. Building up websites is not exactly be within the purview of what you really want to do, right?
Yes, sir.
They have actually, just to go, Mr. Shiva sir has said that you have actually 14 projects incubated so far. So you have been working on that. So Shiva, you could also speak anytime if you want.
I would like to add a point over here. About 14 social startups were incubated last 10 years. And out of 14, 3 have got into big firm now. They have got turnover now about 30 crores. They become from non-profit to profit. And they're pretty good for the social ventures for which they created. One example is Kirmanshi, which is doing predominantly good in animal feed. The other 2 are based out of Tamil Nadu, which are looking into the overcoming of pollutions using enzymatic actions. They are based out of Tirupur. There is another organization which have come out to produce algae from the wastewater, and they also produce algae in the form of spirulina, and they are making added value product with them, which is pretty good again, which has got a turnover of between 2 to 60 crores, I would say.
Okay, so that's phenomenal. This almost.
And we are slowly marching ahead. Young minds are getting into this role of social. All of them were always believing that entrepreneurship are only for getting more profits. And later they understood that with these kinds of startups and these kinds of people coming out, they see the value what they add for the society. There are a couple of people who are working on regional language-based educational tools for mathematics, physics, chemistry across Andhra, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, and Kerala. We are trying with 4 languages. They are doing good. They have bootstrapped about 60 lakhs for themselves, and they have developed all modules for the school students between class 6 to 10, and we are going to push it to the market sooner. It's heavily funded, which is heavily funded by Infosys as well.
We could also add on Vellore Institute of Technology. It's rated one of the best in India. I talked about, I think about 33 of the professors are among the top 1% scientists in the world, according to Stanford. So you could share, if for the audience, anything you want to share about your institute also.
VIT was established in the year 1984 by our visionary chancellor, Dr. G. Vishwanathan. From there onwards, we started growing slowly, and we started with 180 students and 10 faculties. Now we have got more than 2,500 faculty only in Vellore, with 40,000 plus students in Vellore. We are a group of 4 campuses. We call it a group institution. One is based out in Vellore. This is the mother institution from where we are all talking. And then we have an off-campus in Chennai for about 15,000 plus students. And 2 more campuses are state private university campuses, which was invited by respective state governments. One from the Andhra government, which is located in Amaravati. The other one is in Bhopal, which is located in between Indore and Bhopal. It's called Sehor. So 4 campuses put together at 70,000 plus students. Apart from the student strength, we also have the diversity. If you see the diversity we have every third person is a woman, 1 to 3 is men and women. And that also gives a lot of responsibility and co-working among the men and women wherever, which is not there, very common in India. I'm sorry to say that. That's one point. And number 2, we also have students coming from 60 different countries. There are about 45 languages spoken within the campus. That's the diversity, cultural diversity, or geographical diversity, what we have in our campus, which adds more value for industries to make these students who can go and work on the bench on day 1. We also have a very good career development center, which helps in getting more than 1,000 plus industries visiting every year. And our average CTC of these 92% people who are getting placed, we place about 8.5 lakhs per annum, averaging for all this 10,000 put together. Except for paramedical and medical courses, we have all courses in place in VIT across 4 campuses: law, fashion, design, architecture, agriculture, hotel management, Masters in Business Administration. Then we also have a research program, and then we have Masters in Research. Then we have MTechs 2-year program, 5-year MTechs, MSCs for various courses of arts in the areas of arts, as well as science and biology. So that's the nutshell which I want to say. Other than research, every student here in VAT is itself growing so stronger because all those students who are coming to VAT get through a common entrance called VAT EEE, which is ranked as the best and third best entrance examination in the country by Government of India. And this also helps us to get the best minds who can't get IIT or NIT or the course choice, which is they preferring, they tend to come and join with VAT. That makes us to also push our what do you call product development from the young minds or research from the young minds or getting themselves placed from good MNCs. And this year we got an offer from a startup called MotorQ offering 1 crore and 2 lakh package for 2 students. And there are about 3,600 students who got package more than 10 lakhs per annum, 400 different MNCs.
Okay, great. That's a very interesting statistics. Now, I would again go back to the students, and my question is: now you're on this journey. What do you expect? What would you expect from the ecosystem? What would you want? As you, for example, you want to make a change, and you're already working towards it. What do you expect, or what do you want from the ecosystem? It could be from the business, it could be from the mentors who come, it could be from the government, all the actors would. What would your expectation be? Anybody can speak.
Currently, we are based in VIT, so we operate majorly in and within VIT, and we work with students here. And as we aspire to become a community and spread out the knowledge of social entrepreneurship, we kind of hit a saturation point of how many people we're reaching out to, or how many interested minds we're reaching out to. So one thing we majorly need from the ecosystem is collaborations, because that will help us move forward in terms of collaborating on new and more unique programs. So when we collaborate with different kinds of industries and different kinds of corporations or different kinds of companies, we adopt social entrepreneurship along with their mission and vision. So everywhere it becomes unique, because we personally believe that entrepreneurship is a transferable skill set. It's not a profession that just someone can learn out of a book. So it's a transferable skill set that we can apply to different things, and that's how we have social entrepreneurship as well, where we use it to solve social issues. So if you take social entrepreneurship, we can collaborate with NGOs, CSOs, and maybe even the government itself, like local authorities. We can collaborate with them and see what issues they have in their locality. And that's how I think the ecosystem can help us. And also through mentorship, because we are a growing club, and we would require a little guidance and a little mentorship on how to polish ourselves in terms of training students, and also what more specific knowledge can we give them so that they can be more better entrepreneurs and social entrepreneurs. So in terms of solving particular issues, if we have industry experts who can help us, and or researchers, academic professionals, all of these people can come and help us to solve particular issues along with students, because we need the subject matter expertise at times, and that will help us grow our students who are willing to solve problems here. And that's when we can convert them from a problem solving phase to an entrepreneurship phase.
Okay. There are two ladies, right? Am I correct here? Part of your team?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So if they can come forward, I really appreciate. I'll just ask a couple of questions. How has your experience in this club changed your life?
Personal experience. Before joining CSED and after joining CSED. So before joining CSED, I was merely I didn't have a lot much knowledge about entrepreneurship. So I took an engineering course, and I didn't want to join a chapter or a club which is so technical, domain related. So I wanted to explore something new. So which is why I thought, why not learn more about entrepreneurship? And get to know more about it. So that's the reason why I wanted to join CSET. So joining CSET has given me vast knowledge on, I've got a clear idea of what actually entrepreneurship is and how startups work, and what is social entrepreneurship, and how are we evolving around to solve those social issues. And it has helped me to also improve my leadership skills, and it has helped me establish more connections and interactions in this domain.
You were pretty active during the event, so that's been a good experience for you because it gives you also on-hand experience in managing things. Am I correct here? Question me,
Yes,
right?
sir, definitely. Definitely managing events and conducting it, planning it, and strategizing everything and solving issues during the event. It's been a very good experience.
Anyway, the women's team won the award this time, right? It was really so. And yeah, okay. So let me come to the next person. How has this been a game-changing or a good experience for you?
always want to explore various domains. You want to learn a lot. You want to actually try out new things. When I got to know about CSET, it was about social entrepreneurship and not entrepreneurship. It was something which I was not aware of. Or let me be very clear, if you go 5 years back or 10 years back, this concept did not even exist. People didn't know about it. So I joined this firm to learn about it. So when I started working here, I got to know how an actual startup or an organization works. For example, how human resources work, how do you deal with people, how do you run your organization, what goes in the backend. This knowledge as a core member helped me a lot to develop my inter and intrapersonal skills. When I got into the board, there was a responsibility that I had to fulfill. I had to work for the people, I had to look after people. This was a new experience for me as a whole, and I got to learn that things might not turn out the way you want to, but you have to keep working towards it. And that's how you learn and grow. And social entrepreneurship and entrepreneurship as a whole is a very different domain where there are uncertainties. You cannot expect what might happen the next moment. But that's where the real challenge comes, and that's how you learn, develop, and contribute.
And if going forward now, this is a question to all of you, and I think some of the people who have been very quiet could also answer. If given a choice, how would you like to take a job? So just to give you a brief perspective, when you're talking about social entrepreneurship, looking financial and social return. So it's blending financial and social return because you are looking at also social impact, right? You have 17 Sustainable Development Goals. Are you going to be looking up for a job which is within these particular something to do with sustainable development, where you're directly working with technology? What do you aspire to do ahead?
So personally, I think the goals that are mentioned in the SDGs, these are very limited to 17 of them. But yeah, for me personally, I want to build something in future. I was building something for the blind where they were to solve communication issues for them as well as accessibility problems. So I want to explore something for them entering into people with disabilities and the space. I want to explore that. And if given a chance, I would be open to exploring a lot of issues in companies solving any kind of issues in social development. But yeah, for me, people with disabilities, this has been a niche that I want to enter.
Anybody wants to add? One of the questions which I really wanted to see, what have you seen over the period of years? Do you think, I think I didn't get an answer to that. Has there been an increased awareness on issues related to social impact, social entrepreneurship which you're trying to do? What is your...
Let me just take the last 5 years. I'll just connect with my journey so that I can give you a better idea of how the awareness has been over the 5 years. So I started off, the first problem I solved was a pothole, which was 5 years ago, back in my school. So at that time, it was a very new idea for me. So the first time someone walked into our school, we were a bunch of 10 people who signed up for the program run by an NGO in our school. And we had to just go out and find issues to solve them. And that was basically a very awareness exercise. And it kind of broke the bubble I was living in, that issues are there, but there are people taking care of it. And I realized that there are not many people taking care of it, and there are a lot more issues than a capacity can handle, than a government or a corporate can handle. So that kind of broke the bubble for me and told me that, hey, there are issues out there you can go and solve, and yeah, you can solve it. So, and then as the program came up in my school every year, I noticed that more people had actually signed up for it. So it was 10, it was 20, and by the time I left, I think around 80 people had joined the program. So the awareness kind of increased. So if you take VIT as well, there are a lot of NGOs running in here, and the intake has been increasing year on year. So the awareness that problems exist around you has really gone up over the past few years. And as we talk more about climate change, and we hear this every time in the news, every time around us, climate change or icebergs melting, global warming, ozone. So we hear these terms coming up very commonly. Like now we have natural disasters as well, and we just recently had a cyclone and a hurricane, and a lot of these are caused by climate. So people are trying to understand why these are happening more often, why we're facing more issues, and youth are kind of intrigued by it because they're directly affected by it. So they're kind of trying to step up and try to address these issues. And the more they try to understand it, the more they realize that global warming or climate change and big global issues aren't something you can just address directly. These are very ground level issues that are compounding to form bigger issues. So I personally see a lot more people being aware about problems around them, and we come at a stage now where, as a club, as a community, where we have to show them a direction of how to solve the problems, because we see two kinds of people: one with a very entrepreneurial mindset who can really build a business ground up, or a organization ground up, or a community ground up, and another kind of people we see that are problem solvers who are very good at solving problems that they find, be it environmental issues, like how Karthik and Sir pointed out a few successful startups where they had algae-based systems and pollution control systems. So there are people who identify problems technically and solve them well. So we aim to train the problem solvers in a more entrepreneurial way so that they can build their organizations, and the people with entrepreneurial mindsets to identify issues and pick them up and build a community or an organization around that. So this is how I think it has definitely increased and will astronomically increase going forward. And I think the youth are becoming more responsible.
Let me ask you a question. Would you like to answer something which I might not have covered up during our conversation? Anything which you want to add? I mean, people which maybe I missed out. Because one of the things which I feel is like, of course, you talked about going nationally. The other is, of course, also internationally. Setting up collaborations with other academic institutes which are doing similar thing, getting subject matter experts, maybe getting more involved with either businesses through CSR activities or even governments. So that sort of mindset which would lead, I'm just sort of thinking if anything I missed out during my. Before I come to the last is always the AHA question, and we'll come to that. But before that, I thought I'll just check.
I would just like to add one thing to that, where we'd like to go pan India. Just something I would like to add there. That as a club as well, we are actually looking to expand to more universities and more colleges in India. So because the main target audience for us is students. So we would like to expand to more colleges in India. So right now, one college that we are trying to establish ourselves is SRM. So in future, we would like to establish ourselves in many other colleges as well, probably in other geographies, so that because each geographical location has a different diverse set of problems to address. So like Tamil Nadu or Vellore might have some problems, the SRM Chennai might have some problems. So there are many kinds of issues that we want to address, many kinds of people we want to include in this. So the difference of perspective, and everyone from their background takes in something that can add to our social entrepreneurship journey. So that's why, and ideally, we would also reach out to a lot of indigenous communities and a lot of vulnerable and indigenous communities, because the value they hold in solving social problems and the problems they face and how they tackle them in the most efficient way possible without any kind of technology is still the best solutions we have out there, which are unexplored. So if we can reach out to more rural areas as well, colleges in rural areas, we can harness the potential of entrepreneurship and social entrepreneurship students have there that has just been latent for a long time now. So this is how ideally we want to expand.
And also, like, one of the ideas could be like Google has given a grant to IIT Madras now. It's before Chennai, that's how it was known as. And now it's something to do. A lot of these grants could also be within the social impact space. How you could be using technology. For example, a lot of rural region, they might not be speaking. India is a very diverse country. There are a lot of vernacular differences, and one could be in a sort of language translations. Just a thought which I just got it, and that itself has got a huge social impact. That could be one of them which we thought. So you're right. So how to do these various aspects. Since you've been here and you've been doing really wonderful job. You've been very dynamic. You're one of the top premier institutes in India, and you're taking a very much interest at a very young age. When during my time, we are not even aware. I was not even aware of social impact. So that itself is such a huge achievement. Now, thinking into that, from your experiences, you all could share a aha moment, something which is really good for you, an aha moment in your life of your working with. It's better if you talk about with aha moment related to your work at your club, CSED. What brings back a smile to your face?
Sir, honestly, for me, the aha moment was that during the preparation of the event, so we used to have meetings to prepare, and where we had to prepare them for the event itself and like tell them about social entrepreneurship a little bit and like a little bit about sustainable development. And when I started explaining, I just started explaining about sustainable development, 17 goals, and my aha moment really was that the discussion picked up from there without me having to explain so much. And that is when I realized that okay, people are really aware but just don't know like they just need a spark to actually bring it forward. And that was really my aha moment. And that instilled a lot of confidence for me that CSET actually can take it forward for indefinitely and like expand a lot.
Okay. Anybody wants to sort of?
Yes,
So you've been missing from the action. Okay. I have to shift you. I thought let the woman also come in. Okay.
just like Sahil mentioned it earlier, that CSET is known for its amazing club culture, because what we do is not just work, but yeah, when we do work, we focus on it, and when we have fun, we just have a blast, and that's how we, when we ask the core members whom we mentor, that what does CSET mean to you? So one common answer that everyone has is CSET's a family to us. So I think that is not just an aha moment, but I think that is also like a small achievement for us. That okay, so we have been able to create such a workspace for them that they feel comfortable to not just work with their all hearts, but they feel like okay, they are doing not something for someone, they're doing it for themselves, they're doing it for something of their own, and that's what family is. And another aha moment that I came across is we usually have like for the past year we had recruited the core members, so we had interviewed them and all. So one of the people I recruited, a few of them were very scared initially. But these are very basic skills that any entrepreneur should have. That being confident or having good communication skills. So there are a few set of people who were lacking that, and I thought that okay, why not, instead of rejecting them, I can take them under my wing or under my department and let me work on them. So surprisingly, or I don't know how it happened, but they were so confident that they turned out to be really confident by the end of this 1 year, and that was an aha moment for me, or maybe oh wow moment for me, that how okay, so maybe we are creating impact. So I think that was another aha moment for me.
What do you want to add?
Because our tenure was a hybrid tenure, it was both online and offline. So post pandemic, conducting offline events was a huge challenge for us. So the biggest aha moment for me would actually be the success of Startup Street, our first offline event post-pandemic. I think everyone in this room would be agreeing with me on that. So from planning to strategizing to getting a venue and to get speakers like you and Manish sir and all the others as well on board to run through the event, to make sure that participants stay throughout the event, and to make the event very informative and purposeful, fruitful for both the participants, and a wonderful experience for us as well. It was a big aha moment for me as well.
One more aha moment that probably like you also felt during the event. That is, I was on the back end when the responses are coming. I was shortlisting them and like judging them as well from the back end for the first round of selections. And I really did not expect such great ideas to come, because we had not interacted with people out of the club much about social entrepreneurship before that. This was our first step at expanding to VIT about social entrepreneurship in a very explicit and very straightforward manner, and calling them out to like come and like bring your ideas in and we'll invest in you kind of a motto. And the kind of ideas that came out, the quality of ideas, and the simple diversity of ideas as well, was just simply an aha moment for me, which took me aback and told me that, okay, wow, there are such problems that exist and can be solved also. And there are people who are on such advanced stages solving it. And we just need to push them a little bit. And they're actually like doing much better than I thought. So this was really an aha moment for me.
Yeah, true. I think many ideas, I won't say some of the ideas, many ideas, and almost all of them were very good, very grounded. Some were presented in a world-class manner. So no doubt it was a fantastic event. It was my first time I was in person judging, and I think it was just a superlative event, I would say. And considering that you're so young, your third year of engineering, a lot of people still in engineering undergrad, it was a fantastic achievement and show. Thanks a lot. I really appreciate taking time and speaking with me, and it's got a very good perspective, and it's good we've got a much better understanding that what's happening in India, what's happening in leading academic institutes within, for social impact. So thanks a lot for sharing time and giving time to the middle road. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.